There's a wonderful book, and it's put out by a man named Don Scott. I don't know if you've ever interviewed him, but he's up in Toronto. He's 84 now. He's older than I am, but his book, AIDS, the Crime Beyond Belief, actually documents the actual formation of this. They had a special virus cancer project, a government project, where they hired scientists to create new diseases. And he actually created this disease, and he beautifully documents this. And of course, what they will never tell the American people is that this is a dual disease. It's not simply the HIV retrovirus, but there's a mycoplasma along with that, which is why, of course, sometimes long-term antibiotics will help this, because you kill the mycoplasma, the HIV won't destroy you, but they're not going to.
So that's the main vector carrier. Interviewing yourself and other, literally over the years, scores of other medical doctors, reading government research files where they admit that HIV also, they say it's always mutating. It's really just a cover for a bunch of weaponized autoimmune and cancer virus tests that they're doing all over the planet.
Well, unfortunately, people are dying. I mean, they've lost 30 or 40 million people have died unnecessarily throughout the world from AIDS, and countless hundreds of millions more will eventually die. It's a very low-grade chronic disease, but eventually it does kill the people because it destroys the immune system. But as I say, it's a combined disease. It's a combination of mycoplasma and HIV, and they're not telling you that. But
don't the studies also show that it plugs in to darker skinned people, black people's genes, that the very couplers, and I've even seen mainstream news articles admitting that Northern Europeans, it's very hard for them to contract HIV?
Absolutely. That's why here in the United States, almost half of the people who come down with the disease are black, and yet they only make up 13% of the population. This disease is designed specifically to destroy blacks. But nobody wants to say that. There's tremendous racism in these wicked and evil people. They hate blacks, they hate Jews, but then they hate Christians, they hate just about everybody except for the elite, who of course worship their God. But if you go to Africa today, and as I mentioned, the testing in Botswana, 46% of the pregnant women are HIV infected. I mean, we don't see this very common in white women in the United States today. But this has a predilection for blacks, and you're absolutely right. They understand the difference in genetic structure, and they designed this disease to destroy the black population. We're dealing with organized evil. Until people understand that, nothing makes sense.
Stay there. And now the National Geographic Human Genome Project with IBM at Cold Springs Harbor, the head eugenics office, they're getting everybody to donate their blood, and they're taking babies' blood at birth and admitting they're developing race-specific bioweapons with it. Well, I'm happy to have Dr. Stan Monteith back on for 2 hours in the near future if we can do it. The website's radioliberty.com. Burma's has got some major breaking news. They're hitting us with so much insane legislation. A lot of it's passing, like national drafts and everything else right now. And the left is all just literally like on opium, just worshiping Obama, having no idea he's owned by the very same banks that own Bush and the same agenda. We got Russ Baker, Family of Secrets, basically how the Bushes controlled Nixon and a lot more. I already learned this from Tarpley and others in reading history, but it's interesting to see his big, thick take on even more detailed. So we'll be going over that for about 40 minutes. Then the mass grave story from Arizona. Got that fellow on that broke that at Infowars.com, Shepard Ambellis, for about 20 minutes. Then Webster Tarpley, speaking of him, will be on with us from Washington, D.C. But Jason Burmas has got big breaking news here in a moment. Dr. Monteith, I want to thank you for coming on with us today, sir.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be with you, and I look forward to getting you on our program one of these days.
Yeah, I apologize that I have been not flaky lately. I've just been doing so much, I keep getting behind. But I believe I'm on is it Thursday or Friday?
Friday. We'll look forward to it.
Okay, God bless you, sir. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. There he goes.